Greetings and salutations, Earthlings. Zube here. This is going to be a collective reading. Today is March 25th. However, all of my readings are timeless, so if you stumble upon it at another time, good for you. Good for you. This is kind of I like to tap into the collective, like what we're all going through. So it's possible this might not, if it doesn't resonate with you, that's totally fine. You're not going to hurt my feelings. And if it may be going on around you, I always ask for messages to come through me that are like direct to other people that I may not even be aware of, which could be like numbers or animals or something like that. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to start this reading off by doing a little bibliomancy. If you're interested in a personal reading, astrology or tarot, my information is below. All right. Preside. Oh my God, no fucking way. I almost said preside. That's kind of funny. Preside, verb, to control, to lead, to manage, to oversee. That's funny. Oh, my ears ringing too. Presiding over something. I think we're kind of losing control of things, which is why the word preside is coming out. That's funny. So when I was meditating this morning, I kind of asked, like, what's a message that I can, or like, something that I can kind of bring into this. And what I was shown was a being, like, it just wasn't necessarily a human, but it was, let's call it maybe a statue or something. And the statue, first they showed the statue becoming more concrete, like harder. And I was seeing, it's hard to describe kind of how the vision was working, but like I was seeing like patches being put up from the inside, like trying to make the statue more impenetrable, like more itself, more solidified into what it is. And then I saw this alternative of the statue like growing bigger and at the same time kind of becoming more transparent. So the words that I got from that, which the message isn't always conveyed well in words, as you can see me struggling right now. And I actually really like words, but it was like, instead of becoming more of who you are, become less of who you are. And the reason that that's not a perfect translation of what I was seeing was because, like, as it became more translucent, it almost was like gaseous and it grew. And there was like, from that perspective, the statue could see more and feel more and experience more. But when it was becoming more concrete, it was like things were being blocked out, Anyway, I don't know if that helps you at all. It helps me. Like, instead of becoming more of my past patterns and propping those up, like that's kind of what I was getting. Trying something new, something really out of character, which I'm going to explore doing today. So we got the 10 of Wands. I'm going to do a Celtic cross. 10 of Wands is wands are fire. That's the spiritual journey. She's like packing her bags and she's ready to go. Can be like overburdened. Um, we're at the end. There's overwhelm with that card, although she is coming down from like a mountain. So we're like ready to move on. We're done. I'm over it. I that's funny. I got that in meditation too. Like, yeah, I know you're over it. That's kind of what. But what is our challenge, or what's the crossing card? The Page of Cups and the Knight of Wands both came out as crossing cards. The Page of Cups is kind of wishful thinking, and the Knight of Wands, the Page of Cups, pages are child energy. So that's like using your imagination, making wishes, wishful thinking. There's in this card, there's a pig flying, which I think is kind of funny, up in this corner here, if it'll zoom. But in the Knight of Wands, that's that fire, that spirit. The Knight is more of a teenager energy. It's more active. And those coming out as the crossing card. It's like there are still things that we are wishing and hoping for. Like we're coming more into our emotional space and our heart space. I'm going to keep pulling because that's interesting to come out as a crossing card. Like maybe we just want to be done, and there's not an element of like wishes going into, well, what are we moving towards? Like, do we just want to be done, or are we actually going somewhere? And it's almost kind of like, no, we're going to stay here till you start getting hopeful about some shit, or like even finding like a little bit of hope or a little bit of fun. Like have fun. If it like moving from just one boring job to another. I've used that metaphor before, but no, actually, let's put some inspiration. That's the Knight of Wands too. Let's put some inspiration and creativity into this. Like, what do we wish for? Subconscious, we've got the Ace of Cups. That's getting into our heart space, which I literally just said. We want to feel good. Subconsciously, what is your heart's desire? And maybe we're just growing that. I'm looking at, and I always look at these a little bit differently, but like with her, she's kind of like holding it. Maybe it's supposed to grow. It's like expanding outwards, What are we coming out of, or what's in the past? What are we moving away from? Haha, Page of Wands. So with the Page of Wands, we're playing. But I kind of love, ready? So let's think about, we have the Page of Wands as the past energy. This is playfulness, innocence, kind of doing whatever you want. It's fire, like having a good time. Now with the Knight of Wands, we move into that teenager energy of like, okay, so now you're going to do the thing, right? So instead of a little kid playing the air guitar, as a teenager, you're going to get a guitar and like fumble around with it and learn how to play. So maybe that's the crossing card, is that we're stuck in this, whatever we're not done with. We're stuck in that. Oh, and we have like playful thoughts that we feel like the child can kind of be, it's imposter syndrome, feeling inadequate or incapable of doing something because it is like a child. Like if I pull the Page of Wands on a reading that's about somebody's work, it's like they could feel insecure, like maybe they're new there and they have a creative idea or inspiration, but maybe they're like other people are like, oh, they haven't been there very long, or maybe they haven't even said anything, but this is how that person feels. Anyway, so we are moving from a place where we've been playing with ideas, toying with ideas. The wands are also the journey of manifesting. So maybe we've been manifesting stuff. But the crossing card here, it's like now we've got to get the emotions into it. So this is super important. I'm going to describe this story. Okay. When you're manifesting, it's not just about the talk and the vision board, and we have to move that energy to make it happen. So when I'm manifesting something, oh, this is for me too, because I haven't done it in a little while. You want to like close your eyes and envision it. And Abraham Hicks says, hold that vision. Like once you get to 17 seconds, for some reason, that's the number they use, then you really get into that vision that you have of what it is that you want. And you like be there with your heart. Okay. This is how I manifested a job on a ranch. Like I envisioned animals, farm animals like goats and stuff like that. And I closed my eyes and I thought about like the people that I would want to see there and all this stuff. And then my heart really started feeling it. So like maybe we have experience with playing with the ideas and the inspiration part of it, but now we need to explore, wrong one, the feeling of it while actually putting that play, making it more experiential, like real life experiential. I'm trying to think, like this would be whatever it is that you are hoping for. It can be like a big picture. I'm just thinking of little examples so that you get an idea of what I'm talking about. But you want a car, like you want a particular kind of car, and maybe you've written in your journal, you've put a magazine picture up of it. Maybe this is where you go test drive it, right? You do something that's a little bit a bigger step towards like the action of having the thing that you want. You want to start your own business, but like you still have your job. Well, maybe you go from like the vision board, etc., to setting up something kind of like an office space at your house, or just something that shows God that you're like, no, I mean business about this. It's not just like words and stuff. I really mean it. All right. What do we know? What do we know? Seven of Swords. So, we got the Ace of Cups as the subconscious down here. And then like, what is conscious? What are we aware of? And this happened the other day too. We don't fucking know. The Seven of Swords is like that shit going on behind your back. It's sneaky stuff. Are you being sneaky? So there are a few different ways I want to look at this because it is collective and it could mean different things to different people. First of all, with the Seven of Swords, a lot of times I like to keep what I'm manifesting to myself, right? The first thing that jumped also because I don't want people's energy all over my shit. Like they might be putting down my manifestation without me even knowing it. And I feel like that bogs it down. So I only share the things that I really want to manifest with people that I totally trust, not to dog on it or be or walk away and be like, that's impossible or that's stupid. Why would you want to get that? Or, also I got with the Seven of Swords, the universe is conspiring in your favor. So like tell yourself that. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes. Also, people are doing the most, like everybody's doing it the most. Some people are becoming more concretely who they are and trying to protect and preserve that, while other people are sort of expanding and growing. No judgment either way. And maybe you're doing both. Maybe you kind of like tighten up, then you're like, well, let me explore this. Oh, nope, I don't know about that. And you go back and forth a little bit. It's a journey. um but the Seven of Swords, you don't know what other people are going through. Uh, you don't know necessarily. Maybe people are speaking well of you behind your back. Maybe people are not speaking well of you behind your back. But this is, I just find it hilarious that twice now Spirit has put the Seven of Swords, which is the card of what's going on behind my back. We don't really know. Maybe sneaky shit, maybe sneaky bad shit, maybe sneaky good shit. And that's in the spot of what is known. We don't know a lot right now. I don't think we're supposed to. I think we're supposed to be in that space where we don't fucking know and we just keep going anyway. And can we find pleasure in that? Maybe, yeah, pleasure, but can we find peace? Can we fucking be at peace with that instead of being like, I am over this shit. Get me the fuck out of here. Anyway, you'll never find me monetized. Oh, goodness. What are we moving towards? Yes. Freeing ourselves of judgment. Freeing ourselves of judging ourselves, freeing ourselves of like being judged by other people, spiritually leveling up. What does the universe see? Like, what are we learning and growing? Are we trying to preserve the status quo? Are we trying to preside over our lives? We don't preside over our lives. There are always going to be uncontrollable factors, uncontrollable people. Can we navigate through a space knowing that? I feel like that's a little bit what is being demonstrated right now. I don't like to say test, that the universe tests us, but it's kind of like, boop, here's that. What do you think of that? Boop, here's that. What do you think of that? Or how are you going to react? But yeah, with the Judgment card, it's like God's kind of watching and like, can they see this and know that they're still going to be okay, even if they don't like this that's right in front of them, because then they can continue to move, instead of being like, can this be over with? Or the challenge card is what we should be doing instead of wanting something to be over with. I used to work with a girl. She was my favorite. But she was always say she'd always be like, all right, let's get this over with. It was a running joke between us. All right, what's our advice for moving forward? That's funny. Things are confusing. The moon. That's just navigating one foot in front of the other. It can be deception. Like, I don't want to be Pollyanna about where we are right now exactly, because I do feel that this is a difficult time. And I can actually be pretty fucking Pollyanna. However, there's a white dog and a black dog. There's the moon. She's submerged underwater. So we could be, this is coming out for advice. I always describe the moon card like when you walk out to the beach, say you go when the sun is still out, and then you have to walk back out and the sun is down and it's dark. Well, it's really hard to see how to get to that little path through, and you sort of have to follow your footsteps one in front of the other because you can only see by the light of the moon in order to get out. It's also that metaphor of, you can drive in the dark with the headlights in front of you. So you can only see the road right in front of you, but you can still get like, 10 hours away to another state or whatever. So there's something here about not getting too far ahead of ourselves. It's dark out, not meaning dark, but like, it might be difficult to see. We don't quite know what's far ahead of us, but it's important to put one foot in front of the other. And then the Hierophant, that is the God card. So that's seeking wisdom, seeking solace in spirit and God, in reading or double checking. It's kind of like when I used to have panic attacks. I had this thing where it's like you touch something, you taste something, whatever, like, your body's here. Like we want to look without it, because this is a very subconscious card, and the goddess is like within. It's kind of womb like, it's dark already. So we do want to resource up externally. If you need advice from someone, a professional or something like that, the Hierophant can often represent that. Finding it's kind of a church card. Like sometimes when it comes out, I'm like, I actually like going to church sometimes. I was raised Catholic, and sometimes I miss like everybody going into the church, presumably to be better people, even though that's not always the case. But sometimes when the Hierophant comes out and someone is like, I like identifies them with Christianity or whatever, I'll be like, do you maybe want to go to church? Like just to kind of feel that outward expression of your spirituality, maybe finding other people who you can talk about God, spirit, the universe with. Because it's like we need like yeah, kind of a reality check, what is going on around us. Ace of Wands, which is really, really cool. Her eyes are closed. What is going on around us is kind of like, so the thing is, this is a collective reading. So this is like, ideally kind of what's going on with each individual, and we're all embarking on or looking to embark on new beginnings, right? Her eyes are closed, so we can't necessarily see one another's process, but we are all looking for this Ace of Wands, and here is the Ten of Wands. So get inspired by other people. Maybe you're even inspiring other people without knowing it. And that to me also kind of says that there is a new beginning available, even if you're not quite feeling like you're there or out of the old energy. But the universe is like, bitch, come on, give me some ideas. You got to throw some stuff, some, inspirations and ideas the way of the universe, not just like, am I done yet? Like, am I finished? Hopes and fears, justice. The justice card is karma. we're both hopeful of and fearful of that. You know, this is being called to task for the things that you have done as well. That's why, like, the justice card, that one's been coming out a lot too. What have you been doing? Like, have you been doing right? And have you been wronged? It's like the balance sheet is being done for everyone on an individual level. And that's something that we're hopeful of and afraid of. I mean, you know, if you're afraid to take a good hard look at yourself, then maybe you should. This is making me crazy. I didn't have my sweatshirt on when I put those on earlier. All right. And last, what is the outcome? 21, the world. That, I mean, that's the last card of the major arcana. So, like, coming to the conclusion of a larger journey. What does that even make sense? So it's just I just kind of got, like, when a kid learns to tie their shoes, they learn to tie their shoes, but that's part of a bigger sense, like it's part of a bigger thing. It's more autonomy. It's being able to get yourself outside without asking somebody to help you. And so what I'm saying with that is the world card is like, we always have small things that we're learning, but there's something really big that we're wrapping up here, or that we are, in the midst of a culminating lesson. So it's not time to move on just yet. The energy for that is available. However, we have to, well, we don't have to do shit, but it would behoove us to proceed with a creative intention rather than just, I'm fed up with whatever I'm in right now. Let me be done. I want to do, and so with that preside, it's like God presides over your life, not you. And or other people trying to preside over your life, right? Do you feel free? These cards feel really like, with the 10 of Wands, we do just want to be free. And what do you want to be free from? So look at this. Okay, ready? This is cool. She's still got a bunch of shit with her. Like, how is she gonna, move on? She's carrying a lot of stuff. And here with the Knight of Wands, like, she doesn't have anything with her. So I think there's something here about us. What are we trying to drag with us into the next life? There was a book I read, and I think it was called Coming Home, or The Journey Home, or something like that. It's not that significant. I never finished it, but there was this one part where this guy was going on a journey, and his guides gave him, like, each day he was traveling for 7 days, I think, and he wouldn't know where he was going. And then when he would get there would be food, or sustenance or whatever, to get him going for the next day, but he had to trust that he was going to get to the next place. And one day he got to this place, and there was, like, all this food, and they said there's only one rule: you can't bring anything with you from, like, the place that you go to. And they had this really, really amazing food at the one night, and he put it in his pocket. It was a spiritual journey that he was going on, but He put it in his coat pocket, and he went to pull it out while he was really hungry on the next leg of the journey. And it was like rotted and disgusting. And this kind of feels like that. Like, what are you dragging with you? Like, we're learning to trust. You don't need that, I don't know, whatever it is for you. You know what it is. Can be emotional baggage. It can be patterns from the past. I'm trying to think of an example from my life. What is it for me? I usually figure out what it is for me after I do these, because I'm not really trying to think about me when I'm doing these. Togetherness, loyalty, fellowship, bonding. Who feels good to be together with? Who's with you? Who's around you? Who feels playful? Who feels inspirational? Who's moving forward? Is anyone keeping you stuck? Is anyone presiding over you? Is anyone telling you what to do, requiring you to be a certain way? Who lets you be you? Do you let other people be who they are? Let's do a couple of these. I'm going to call it a day. Flow. Go with the flow. As water trickles down a stream, do not hurry. Do not get it over with. And opportunities unfurl like a fern, even without warm sunlight. Yes. We don't know even it's like what's growing. I was holding this upside down and I got trust. Trust, come on. It's weird. The robin trusts her wings, not the branch she sits on. Friends. The most unlikely friendships can form like variegated lichens on hard rock. They create a tight bond. I don't even know what a lichen is. I think it's like moss or something. But what friends can you trust? Who do you trust? Go with the flow. There are opportunities. Don't hurry. Don't rush. Play, have fun. But you do want to do something. Buy the guitar, test drive the car, but have fun with it. Don't try to drag things with you. Yeah, that's what I got. Anyway, I hope you have a great day on Earth. Thank you for stopping by. Appreciate you very much. Peace. Namaste.